Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Statify India. In this episode, we're going to break down death. We will cover all the theories which are connected or related to death. We will make sure that you will get all information related to death, and we'll discuss all this thing in very deep. And yes, this is the episode of talking of lots of things about death. So first of all, is there any particular definition of death? I will say it's controversial topic. It's myth actually, or it's kind of mystery that death has no definition, because you can't just explain death because you don't know what a living organism feels after death, or what just happens if you die. So first of all, there are so much mysteries or so much theories about this particular topic, but we will tell you about the most important one, most correct one, most discussed one. Okay, so first of all, what is the scientific definition of death? Okay, so let's talk about that first. So death marks the moment when your vital organs stop working to keep you alive. So this is the basic definition, but there are lots of things going on after death also. According to our religions, different kind of religion explains death differently. So we will be talking about that in our next episode. But first of all, let's talk all the theories and all the things which says scientists and which were told by science basically. So in this episode, we will be talking about the scientific theories or scientific stuff related to death. In our next episode, we will be talking about what actual ancient Indian Vedas or ancient Indian culture says about death, and what were their observations, what were their theories according to these ancient books and all this stuff. So first of all, you know that death has some symptoms. There are some kind of physical signs which you can visually check that the person or animal or any living organism is dead. So basically, there is no pulse, there is no breathing, relaxed muscles, fixed eyes. Also, person is not giving response. Also, a bowel or bladder release, and partially shut eyelids makes sure that the person is dead. So you can check if person is dead by checking this all stuff. So this was the basic idea of how you can confirm the death by visually checking it. Now let's talk about death. And I will start slowly, but we will get into very complex theory by the time. So let's start. The total cessation of life processes that eventually occurs in all living organisms is known as death. Okay? The state of human death has always been obscured by mysteries, and its precise definition remains controversial, differing according to culture and legal systems, as I told you before. Death is very fundamental question. Actually, death is closer to us than the statistics we read about it. Each moment, death is happening in us at the organ and cellular levels, as you know. Because we have so much cells in our body, there are millions of cells, or even I would say billions of cells in your body which are developing itself, and they are dying, they are making new cells automatically. So this thing happens in your body. This is how with just one look at your insides, your doctor knows how old you are. So that is the basic reason behind it. In fact, death begins in us even before we born. Only if you are ignorant and unaware does it seems like death will come to you someday later. If you are aware, you will see both life and death are happening every moment. Right? If you as much as breathe a little more consciously, you will notice that with every inhalation there is a life, and every exhalation there is a death, which is true actually. You can observe it. You can try it. You can't live without inhaling, and you know that. Upon birth, the first thing that child does is to inhale, to take a gasp of air. And the last thing that you will do in your life is an exhalation before death, of course. So that is how this game works. You exhale now, and if you do not take the next inhalation, you will be dead, of course. If you do not get this, just do an exhalation, hold your nose and do not do the next inhalation. You will get it. Just joking, don't do this. I mean, there is a scientific fact that you can't make yourself dead by holding your nose. I think you should try this. When you will hold your nose, you will notice that after few moments, every cell in your body will start screaming for life. Life and death are happening all the time. They exist together, inseparably, in the same breath. So that is happening at right now. This happened in past and it will happen in future also. And if it's not happening, then there is no you, which is true. This relationship goes even beyond the breath. Breath is only a supporting actor. The real process is of the life energy or prana that controls physical existence. With certain mastery over prana, one can exist beyond breath for substantial amount of time. Breath is a bit more immediate in its requirement, but in the same category as food as water. Fundamentally, this situation has come about because you have lost perspective as to who you are in this universe. If this solar system in which we are evaporates tomorrow morning, no one will even notice it. It's so small in our cosmos that it's just a small event for whole cosmos thing. In this speck of a solar system, planet Earth is a microspeck. In that microspeck, the city you live is in a super microspeck. So I am not saying that stop going for job tomorrow, but the fact is that you are so small and you can't do anything at universal level. I mean at cosmos level. We see the body as 5 dimensions. The physical body is known as Annamaya Kosa. Anna means the food. So this is the food body. And by the way, I am using the words Annamaya Kosa is a Sanskrit word, and I will be talking some Sanskrit word also in upcoming minutes. So don't get confused in that particular moment. So I will be explaining whole word, so don't worry. The next one is called Manomaya Kosa, or the mental body. The third one is called Pranamaya Kosa, which means the energy body. The physical, mental and energy body are all physical dimensions of life. For example, you can clearly see that the light bulb is physical. The electricity, the electrons that flows through the wire are also physical. So is the light that emits from the bulb. All three are physical. Similarly, the physical body is gross, the mental body is subtler, and the pranic body is even more subtle. But all are physical in existence. Once karma is imprinted on the body, one can control the energy and mind at the same time. The karma imprint or karmic structure is the cement which holds you to the physical body. Although karma is bondage, at the same time it is the only because of karmic substance that you can hold on the body and be here. The next two dimensions are called Vijnanamaya Kosa and Anandamaya Kosa. Vijnanamaya Kosa is non-physical but related to the physical. Vishes Ganna or Viganana means extraordinary knowledge or knowledge of that which is beyond the sense perceptions. This is the etheric body. It is a transitory body, a transition from the physical to the non-physical. It is neither physical, it is like a link between the two. Anandamaya Kosa is a bliss body and it's completely non-physical. It has no form its own. Now we will be talking about some scientific reasons, some scientific theories behind death. First of all, biocentrism. Biocentrism is a mechanism of sorts that result in all physical possibilities. Biocentrism also emphasizes the fact that it is not the universe that has created humans, but is actually us who have given birth to the universe as we know it. In a conversation with Huffington Post, Lanza revealed that biocentrism tells that space and time are just tools that our mind uses to weave information together into a comprehensive experience like a language for consciousness. The many words theory and states that death doesn't exist in these scenarios, since all of these possibilities are taking place at the same time, and the only reason we feel alive is because of the energy operating in our brains. So this was the theory related to death, which is known as biocentrism. There is another theory which tells that death is like finishing a TV series in the universe streaming platform. You can experience different stories, different characters, and of course different endings from the vast library that the universe holds, and at the end of them all, it's still you. In a rather casual example, he calls death like finishing a good TV series. By the way, by means he, I am talking about researcher Robert Lanza, who is giving this all theories. According to him, it's just energy, and as per the laws of physics, energy can neither be created or destroyed. It just shifts from one state to another. When we die, there is break in our linear connection of times and places, and strangely, he says our linear concept of time means nothing to nature. This all things is researched or discovered by Robert Lanza, who is currently the head of Astellas Global Regenerative Medicine and Chief Scientific Officer of the Astellas Institute of Regenerative Medicine. There is one Russian scientist, Konstantin Korotko, who has actually claimed that he photographed soul leaving the body at death. According to his studies, he is Russian scientist. He has captured the moment of death with his bioelectrographic camera. The image which taken by him was actually a gas discharge visualization method, which is an advanced technique of Kirlian photography, shows in blue as the life forces of the person leaving the body gradually. According to Korotko, Knowell and heads are the parts who first lose their life forces, and the groin and the heart are the last areas where the spirit before surfing the phantasmagoria of the infinite. These scientists were measuring the leftover energy field of dead human bodies using GDV technology. So they conclude total 3 kind of photographs or 3 kind of curves on the photographs. So first of all, curves on the photograph reading with relatively small variation amplitude. This was associated with a calm death as a result of nature motives stipulated by organisms' condition generally in the old age. Second concept or second scenario, curves on the photo reading with availability of one pronounced peak for several hours after death and relatively small amplitude afterwards. This was associated with an unexpected death in the issues of traffic accident followed by craniocerebral trauma. And third kind of case is the curves on the photo reading large amplitude variations, which continue for a long time. These were associated with an unnatural death as a consequence of unfavorable concourses of circumstances, a suicide, a murder, improper medical care, lungs clot, etc. etc. There are also some theories which were very popular about death. First of all, you will be aware that you are dying. You'll know that my body is going to dead in some seconds or some minutes. You will understand that you are dying due to the brain waves firing in the cerebral cortex, the conscious thinking part of the brain, for roughly 20 seconds after clinical death. It will active for like 20 seconds or more. And studies on the lab rats have shown their brain surge with activity in the moments after death, resulting in an aroused and hyper-alert state. If such state occurs in humans, it may be evidence that the brain maintains a lucid consciousness during death's early stages. It may also explain how patients brought back from the brink can remember events that took place while they were technically dead. Also, there is one mystery that hairs and fingernails grow after death, which is completely wrong. It's completely myth. There is no chances that your fingernails and hair will grow after your death. The reason hair and fingernails don't grow after death is because new cell can't be produced. Glucose fuels cell division, and cell requires oxygen to break down glucose into cellular energy. That puts an end to the body ability to intake either one. So this was the some related theories with death particularly. So that was it in this particular episode. In upcoming episode we will be talking about how ancient India analyzed death and what they say about that particularly, and also especially how they have conclusion for souls and how they explains the death and also life after death. So we will be talking very deep topics in depth in that particular episode. I hope you will love that one episode too. If you want to listen that episode as early as possible, then you must follow us or subscribe us on YouTube so that you will get the podcast as early as possible. So that was it in today's episode. Thank you so much for listening to me. I will see you in next episode. Thank you.